Hi, friends. Welcome back. My name is Kate. Thank you for joining me here again on my mental health and personal transformation channel, where I share things related to those topics. Today, I want to talk about a popular productivity strategy known as Eat the Frog First. It was popularized by a man named Brian Tracy, and it essentially encourages anyone who's trying to achieve their vision in life to do the hard thing first in the morning. Shortly after waking up, as soon as you kind of have your bearings together and you've got your hat on for the day, you sit down and you do the thing that has the most resistance. The most resistance, or the thing that is going to really give you movement in the direction of your vision. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to start a business, maybe it's sitting down and emailing some investors. If you're working on an album or you're working on writing a book, maybe it's sitting down and songwriting for 20 minutes or getting a page down in your novel. Doing something that gets the movement going for that day in the direction of the thing that is most important to you, to achieve your kind of main vision in life, your main goal. The reason why this is an effective strategy is because, like many of us have experienced, if you let something like that sit on you all day, number one, it's going to build a lot of resistance and it's going to be hard to do later in the day. Like, it's going to drain your energy throughout the day. And secondly, it can also really get you into this habit of procrastination and just avoiding things altogether. It steals energy from other activities that you do in the day as well. So maybe you're on a mission to build muscle, and that is the current thing that you're really working on. You're really working on your physique, and so you go through the whole day with having that sitting on you, and a lot of the energy that you would have for that workout goes to thinking about the workout all day. I think a lot of people kind of know essentially how this works and how it drains you ultimately of those resources to do the very thing that you're wanting to do and have the resources to do. So this strategy works just because of human nature. I think a lot of people can understand why it works. But what if you are someone like myself who has their most prime resources of energy and focus in the evening hours? So you're a night owl. I am someone, I've been this way ever since I was a toddler. I do think that there is some truth to kind of this chronotype philosophy, that there are some of us who are kind of meant to wake up with the birds and have a huge burst of energy and focus during the super early morning hours. And then there's those of us who kind of have a later morning schedule. And then there are other people who have their prime energy in the evening, when kind of the rest of people are starting to calm down for the day. So how do you use this eat the frog strategy if you're someone that doesn't really have good focus and energy until the evening hours? I will tell you what I do and what I have found to be generally successful. If you are someone who is writing a book, maybe you're deciding that you want to spend 90 minutes a day working on writing, but you know that you do your best writing in the evening, but you don't want it to sit on you all day. You know that that's going to be draining your energy, thinking, I need to be writing. You want to get the advantage of getting it done early, but you don't have the focus for that. So what do? What I do is I decide on amount of time that I want to dedicate that feels like it's good enough if that's all that I do for the day. I started doing this with like 10-15 minutes, but now I'm at a 25-minute mark, and that's where it's been for a while. So even though it takes me a while to get going in the morning, it's usually anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour from when I actually get out of bed and I do my morning routine, which includes like a brief walk outside and having coffee, having water. Then I will sit down, set a timer for 25 minutes, and work on the thing that makes me feel like I made the inch of progress that I needed to make that day in order for me to check it off and feel good about it. For me, that's 25 minutes. And I emotionally frame it in myself, the way that I relate to myself about it is that that's always good enough. Now, I then, because I was able to check that off early in the day, the rest of my day usually feels downhill. If I have laundry, if I have working out, those things are not as hard. I don't have as much resistance about those things, and they're not quite as important to me as like the other thing, which for me is making music. Because I did the making music first, that's the thing that is most like spiritually important to me. All the other things feel like they're downhill, which means usually in the evening, not only now I have like this energy, like I naturally have this burst of energy in the evening because I'm a night owl, but I also feel good about my day already. I'm already in a good mood because I did the 25 minutes earlier in the day, and then that made everything else in the day easier. Now I'm more likely to come back to it from a frame where I'm actually really kind of in this creative and playful state, because I'm not really pushing it. I don't really have a lot of pressure around it. And I'm then in that state more likely to get into flow, where I end up sitting there for an hour or two doing the deep work. Now, I know rationally that I can't really expect myself to only put 25 minutes in every day and get somewhere with it. But when you are working on just building momentum and building with a relationship with yourself as someone who shows up every day to work on your craft or work on the thing that's really important to you, framing it as 10, 15, 20 minutes, however much you know that you can commit to, as that being enough is where it has to start. And anybody who has learned to build consistency in any area is going to tell you that starting small and building the foundation and building this relationship with yourself, that you're someone who can be trusted to show up for it day after day, that takes priority to everything else. Deciding that you're going to spend one day a week working 5 hours on something and then dismissing it the other days, it's just not possible. It really doesn't happen for most people. There might be like the occasional outlier, but it's really not how momentum works. Okay, so something I want to add. Another example I wanted to give. So if your physique is the main thing that you're wanting to work on, and so you are, your workout is kind of the thing that is most important to you during the day, but you have to work super early and you're just not interested in waking up at 5 a.m., I think like that's cool. That's totally good. You can decide that you want to do the workout in the evening after you get off of work. However, if you want to use the strategy of eat the frog first, maybe you do 10 push-ups in the morning before going to work, and that builds into part of your routine so that you've at least done something towards your goal early in the morning. And then that just like, it boosts your ego, it boosts your personality, your mood, everything starts to kind of like, I get up and I do the hard thing first. I'm willing to do something difficult when I'm in a difficult state of mind, when I'm not even in my prime energy. I'm willing to do something hard. That can be really, really satisfying for your sense of self-esteem. So that was just something I wanted to pop in and share. So I hope this was helpful for you. To just kind of recap my overall, the kind of thing that I'm expressing is to give yourself a very small chunk, putting it in the morning and letting that be enough for the day. And then if you have the energy and you feel good and you have the mood state to come back to it later, then you'll be able to do so with a much more relaxed position. Like the pressure valve will be released around the activity, and you can come back to it with a much more fun and creative and easy frame of mind, which will then allow you to kind of capitalize on the focus that you have later in the day. Overall, the whole point of the healing journey is kind of relearning to release pressure within yourself in a way that allows you to respond to pressure a lot better and with much more ease. Thank you for your time and attention. If you have any questions or anything you'd like me to expand on, or any issues or topics that you would like to hear me talk about in the future, please do let me know what those are in the comments. Would love your subscription so that you can see some other content, the things that I have coming out. And yes, again, thank you for your time and attention, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.